Remember what it was like to be a kid? To explore and play. To roam free all day. In Jamestown, North Carolina, we get out of the grind and escape into the moment. People feel good here. Let loose here. Eat well here. Feel swell here. We go for a ride or an afternoon stroll. We cheer each other on. And go for the goal. Here, a treasured history meets the energy of a town on the rise. In a place with true heart and soul, and where we have our own special beat. Jamestown, North Carolina, where history and possibility meet.
Please bow your heads for a moment of silence. Thank you. Council, do we have any changes to the agenda?
Yes, I'd like to request that we remove the approval of the amended personnel policy and approval of resolution to close out the capital project fund from the consent agenda.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. And do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended. Maybe I shouldn't make any motions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Katie, do we have anyone signed up for public comment period?
Yes, Alvin Robinson.
Please state your name and address as you come to the podium.
Alvin Robinson, 2139 Huffine Mill Road. That's McLeansville, North Carolina, 27301. All righty. Thank you all for allowing me to speak tonight. As was acknowledged in my introduction there, or rather given my address, I am not a resident of Jamestown, so I certainly do appreciate you all allowing me to come out tonight and speak. The reason I'm here tonight to speak to the council as well as the general public being able to hear these comments tonight, the reason I'm here tonight is to make you aware of two things. Number one, the town of Jamestown will soon be part of State Senate District 26. State Senate District 26 is currently represented by Senator Phil Berger in Raleigh. Under Phil Berger's representation, the town of Summerfield, North Carolina, a town similar to yours in terms of being a smaller town here in the area, under him, it was recently de-annexed. Not the entire town, but a portion of the town, about 1,000 acres was de-annexed a few months ago under a forced de-annexation circumstance. This happened when a developer who owned land within the town of Summerfield could not get the town of Summerfield and its citizens to agree with his plan to bring an unwanted residential development into the community, which would take away from the town's desired rural setting. Mind you, that developer is also a financial supporter of Senator Berger, so we have a conflict of interest there. My point is this: it is certainly okay for a landowner in such a town to desire to develop their land, but it is not okay for a state legislator to use his or her authority to forcefully push and promote the desire of an individual, especially a big financial supporter, in front of what the people of such an area truly want. I bring this to you to make you aware of something, and also as somewhat of a warning, because we're approaching November, where we will approach the polls and vote. We have an opportunity to do something about that. And so the second thing I want to let you know is that I, Alvin Robinson, am running for State Senate District 26 with the Constitution Party of North Carolina. I will represent you all, not based on my own interest and special interest and those type things. I believe in limited government, not government overreach, such as what we see happening or had happened over in Summerfield, and look to represent you based upon truth and righteousness. When I say truth and righteousness, I mean that which is consistent with what God has intended for us as people and how we are to live life with one another. And so again, you can go to my website, Alvin Robinson, 4, ncsenate.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nobody else signed up.
No one else has signed up? In that case, Chief Carson, would you meet me at the podium? Without Sparky. No Sparky. Whereas fires can take lives, devastate communities, and destroy our homes and businesses. And whereas fires pose a threat to Americans across our nation and state and cost millions of dollars each year. And whereas Fire Prevention Month emphasizes the importance of taking steps to prevent fires. And whereas October is a good time to test smoke alarms in places of work and homes to ensure that alarms are working properly. And whereas all Americans should develop and practice a fire evacuation plan that allows for swift exits from places of work or home. And whereas it is important to teach our children about fire prevention and fire safety. And whereas we owe a great debt to our brave first responders and firefighters who run toward the scene of disaster to fight fires. And whereas these individuals are heroes that demonstrate courage, determination, professionalism every day as they battle flames and smoke. Now therefore I, Lynn Montgomery, Mayor of the town of Jamestown, on behalf of the council and the citizens of Jamestown, do hereby proclaim October 2024 as Fire Prevention Month and urge all citizens of the town to practice their best efforts to prevent fires and their tragic consequences. Thank you, Chief. Thank you. And thank you for this, all that you've done. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
At this time, with the representatives from the library, join Councilmember Rayburn at the podium.
I'll let you hold on to this while I have my cheat sheet here. But thank you all for joining me. These are fabulous friends of the library, Jean, Emily, and Julia, who've been keeping a lot of things going over there, so be sure to visit. All right, so whereas Friends of the Library groups across the United States are dedicated to the support of libraries as institutions essential to democracy and lifelong learning. And whereas Friends of North Carolina Libraries support local Friends groups by helping them integrate the library thoroughly with the life and work of the community they serve. And whereas Friends groups advocate for funding that will provide libraries with the necessary print and electronic materials, expert assistance in research, technology equipment, and services for all ages from the very young to the senior citizen. And whereas Friends of the Jamestown Public Library promotes the joy and benefits of literacy, learning, and economic well-being for community members of all ages by investing time and effort in raising supplementary funds to enhance library resources and programming. And whereas Friends of the Jamestown Public Library also volunteer to help provide services and materials to their patrons. And whereas the gifts of time and commitment by Friends of the Jamestown Public Library set a positive example of civic engagement that benefits both volunteers and their communities. Now, therefore, I, Councilmember Rebecca Mann Rayborn, on behalf of the Mayor and Town Council, do hereby proclaim October 20th through 26th, 2024, as Friends of Libraries Week in the town of Jamestown, and encourage all citizens to join me in this worthy observance. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for all. Thank you all for coming, and I'll get
And
you.
I've left brochures at the sign-in for Friends of the Library. It's the best bargain you'll ever get for as little as $10 a year. Just come and see us. Thank you.
At this time, I believe Councilmember Burgess has some community information she'd like to share. Bridget, would you please join her at the podium?
Bridget and Blue House Bakery, and of course your family, I'd like to acknowledge and thank you for your incredible support to a fellow business owner during a challenging time. Your support just showed just spirit of community and strength in business. So with that, I'd like to present you with the certificate of recognition in recognition of hosting a fundraiser to support another Jamestown business, Potent Potables, while they were working to reopen after damage to their building. Thank you. Also, one other thing, Blue House Bakery did celebrate their eighth anniversary yesterday, so another You're welcome.
Thank you, Pam. And Matthew, and change up the agenda a little bit and have our reports earlier this month. So we'd appreciate your manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a couple of updates on the projects that we have going on. Our PARTF and Accessibility for Parks grants have commenced. The work has begun on the removal of the older playground equipment and the basketball courts. If you've been out there, you'll see that those are gone, and they're getting ready to pour a new pad out there for the basketball court. All of our contracts have been let for the playground equipment, natural play equipment, and shelters. We're planning to see quite a bit of construction on the site during the next few months, and this may lead to some park closures. Scott's working to make sure that everybody stays safe. A request for qualifications for the restroom design has been advertised, and we hope to have an award for contract for design of the bathrooms at our November 19th council meeting. Our Main Street waterline replacement project was postponed until spring. Oakdale sidewalk projects, again, staff have been having discussions with DOT. We have some paths forward. They were meeting with them this morning, so they're meeting quite often with DOT to make sure that we can get that project underway soon. They are still working on acquiring some easements and right-of-way for that as well. The Penny Road Waterline Project, again, anticipating starting that in the spring. We will probably have an RFQ out for qualified designers in this fall. The Oakdale Cotton Mill aerial replacement sewer line, the town have scheduled the pre-con meeting. That happened today. They're going to be tentatively starting on that project at the beginning of November. They'll ramp up very, very heavily during the month of December, and they're looking at having a completion date for that project around the beginning of March. Under our sidewalk projects, the ARPA sidewalk projects, the smaller sidewalk projects, the staff met with the contractor, and they're anticipating a start date of next week on those little connections throughout town. The East Main Street project, again, is under design, and we're hoping to have an award for contract for construction at our November 19th council meeting. I would like to make sure that we recognize Dana Benson, our utility billing manager, who has been diligently working on the recent updates to our town website and ongoing work to update the golf course website as well. Not only was this an incredibly heavy lift, but it was completed during extensive updates to our utility billing services portal online. So if you have signed up for auto pay, I want to remind you to please go on the website and re-sign up under the new portal to make sure that we have your information. We sincerely appreciate her hard work on those projects. I want to highlight a couple of features that are on our new website. There is a translation tab that will translate it into a host of different languages. There's an ADA accessibility tab for those who need assistance with being able to view or see the website. There's a search tab, so you can search the website. I've used it myself to find documents that I'm looking for. And we also now have the ability to send out emails and texts. So we can do that as a mass communication tool. There are two different sections that you can sign up for. There's a general tab and there's an alerts tab. General tab is for more benign things, just general information, special events, things that are going on in town that we want to get messages out about. The alerts tab is for things that are of immediate concern. Road closure, water line break, things that we need, emergencies, services need to get information out. Or, for example, changes to recycling and garbage pickup, which is a little bit more important sometimes than just a general alert. You can sign up by going to the website and clicking on the I Want To tab, or following the video tutorial that we've posted on our Facebook site. The town's Lead for North Carolina Fellow, Deborah Mullis, has been working on our first Citizens Academy, which will be held this spring. She's looking to get some contact information for anyone who might be interested in participating. There are some brochures at the back of the room as well. I would also like to recognize Elizabeth Greason for her work in coordinating the fall litter sweep. You're going to hear about that in just a minute, so I won't dwell on that, but she is always successful in getting a lot of volunteers to come out and help keep our roadways clean, so we sincerely appreciate that. Our annual loose leaf pickup begins October 22nd and runs through February 21st. Paul would like to make sure that people are aware of the need to keep those leaves free of debris. Sticks, rocks, and other types of loose items can damage both property and our equipment, which leads to delays in getting those leaves picked up. We would like to remind folks to keep those leaves away from the curb and away from mailboxes, cars, and trash cans. These are things that prohibit us from being able to get to the piles. And we will work to pick them up as quickly as possible. Leaves have a tendency to all come down about the same time. And invariably, it's right before Thanksgiving, and everybody wants it cleaned up. But we will continually work to get those up as quickly as possible. You're going to hear an update from Scott as well, but I will go ahead and say that Scott and Marcy have set a date for their 50th anniversary celebration. I'm going to let him talk a little bit more about that. Saturday, November the 9th, from 11 till 2, Pinecross Sedgefield Fire Department is going to be hosting a hot dog fundraiser to help raise funds to benefit those that were impacted by Hurricane Helene in western North Carolina. So again, November the 9th is a Saturday from 11 to 2 here at the fire station behind Town Hall. I do want to thank everybody in our Parks and Recreation staff for a successful Music in the Park concert series. The last one was a knockout. They had quite a number of folks there. The Parks and Recreation staff did a wonderful job. They kept everything running smoothly, despite a couple of things that were thrown at them at the last minute. They kept the trash cans emptied and our patrons safe. I did want to say that we would like to make sure that we are keeping those in Western North Carolina in your thoughts and prayers as they work to recover from Hurricane Helene. There is a link on in the packet to vetted organizations. These are organizations that United Way have told us, and North Carolina Emergency Management have told us are authorized to receive donations, and they have been fully vetted. So it's important that we keep those folks in our thoughts as they deal with that horrific event. I'd like to finally introduce Jose Colon. Jose, you come up. Jose is our brand new planning director. He was born and raised in Puerto Rico, but he has been in North Carolina for the last 25 years, with nearly 15 of those being in the Piedmont Triad region. He comes to us with over 12 years of experience in local and regional planning, having worked in Rockingham County, Davidson County, City of Greensboro, and Piedmont Triad Regional Council. I will say that he is bilingual, which is an amazing talent, and I'm so glad to have him here. I'm going to let him speak to you unless you have questions for me.
Yeah, I just have a comment actually in regards to the Citizens Academy. For those who are watching online, I strongly encourage as many of you to please come out and take advantage and sign up for that academy.
Thank you.
I think it's going to be beneficial to you to learn more about Jamestown and our local government. So,
Thank you.
and thank you, Deborah, for doing that. I just
Sure.
wanted to-
Very good. Jose, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Matt, for that introduction. Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. It's a pleasure to meet all of you individually, and I want to express gratitude and excitement for beginning this new chapter of my career in town of Jamestown. I received such a warm welcome from staff, but not only staff, just the community that I've helped in the few weeks has had open arms. And I'd also like to acknowledge the previous planning director, Anna Haverluck, for the great work that she did here. Anna has been instrumental in making sure this transition is as smooth as possible. And I recognize that I have big shoes to fill, but I am eager to step into them and to continue promoting and administering orderly and thoughtful development in the town of Jamestown, as well as to carry out Envision Jamestown Comprehensive Plan. Yo también hablo español, and I also speak Spanish, as Matt said, and I hope that will provide an additional line of communication between staff and the Spanish-speaking community here in Jamestown. I'm truly excited to work with all of you and to get to know each of you individually. Thank you so much.
Thank you and
Thank
welcome.
you, Jose.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to Jamestown. Bienvenidos.
And now I'm really excited to welcome our new high school representative from Ragsdale High School, Ben Arnold. Would you like to update us on the activities at Ragsdale?
Good morning, everybody. As you said, my name is Benjamin Arnold. I am currently a senior at Ragsdale. Sorry if you couldn't tell, I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Starting today, there is a girls' varsities tennis metro conference tournament along with girls' varsity volleyball game and boys' varsity soccer game. Tomorrow there will be varsity cross country. October 10th, girls' varsity volleyball, boys' varsity soccer game. October 11th, it will be the varsity football homecoming game, and the 12th is the homecoming dance. The 14th, there will be girls' varsity golf tournament. The 15th, there will be boys' varsity soccer game. The 17th will be a boys' varsity soccer game again. The 18th will be another varsity football game. October 24th, boys' varsity soccer game and the RHS choir concert. Please come to that. I'm a member. I like to sing. October 25th, there is a varsity football game. October 26th, there will be a community event called Trunk or Treat that will be from 1 to 3, where different clubs come out and we do a trunk or treat. Later that day, there will be a varsity cross-country regional championship. October 28th is boys varsity soccer game. October 29th is the instrumental fall concert. The 30th is boys varsity soccer game. November 1st is the varsity football game and the senior night. November 12th is varsity swim meet. November 15th, there is both a boys and girls varsity basketball game. November 16th, our chess club will be going to participate in a county chess tournament with other high schools, if I'm not mistaken. November 18th is varsity swim meet. November 19th is boys and girls varsity basketball game. November 20th is varsity wrestling and boys varsity basketball game. November 22nd is boys varsity basketball game and girls varsity basketball game. And November 26th is both a boys and a girls varsity basketball game.
I hate there's nothing happening.
No. If you would like, I have pictures, or extra copies to pass around if you would like a picture.
Yes, please, hand them to Katie, and she will distribute to us.
I will say I had the pleasure of going to a cross-country meet, a Ragsdale High cross-country meet over at Hagenstone Park, and they have, I believe she's a freshman, and she's ranked number 9 in the country.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so we'll have to keep an eye on our athletes this year. They're doing some good stuff. Yeah, and I'm sure others are as well. I just happen to know that fact.
Thank you, Ben. Yes. Council, do we have any other meetings this month? I realize Ben took a lot of your
I know.
school stuff.
I know. No, I am in process of working with the Jamestown Middle School Music Boosters. They would like to do something for Christmas on Main. So if that comes to fruition, I'll give a more thorough update on that. But right now, it's in the works, hopefully. Yeah.
Rebecca?
There was a Parks and Rec meeting last night, and I'm, not going to say much because Scott is going to be, I think, updating us on all of those things, but there's a lot of exciting work being done. The new basketball court's going in, and the natural play area, it sounds like it's going to be pretty quick. So we'll be on the edge of your seats.
Okay. Any meetings in your world?
No meetings in my world for planning board, but I am sure we're going to be busy coming up on November the 11th, so that's our next planned date. And I'm sure we're all looking forward to working with Jose.
Yes, thank you. Martha?
Well, the PART meeting, which is scheduled for tomorrow, that has been canceled. And of course, the September TAC meeting was canceled. So our next meeting is October 22nd, and that is where I had reported last time, we will be prioritizing the local projects on the district level. So once that's done, then maybe I can come back and report what projects are going to wind up being on the TIP.
Thank you. Thanks, ladies. Elizabeth, would you like to update us on the Fall Litter Sweep?
I'm looking to see who's here to make sure. I want to say thank you to everybody that was able to come out on September the 28th. We were small in numbers. It was the day after we had some really bad weather throughout our state. But during that morning, 9 participants picked up 16 bags of trash. Wow. So we were able to look at Dillon Road, East Fork, Scientific Street, around the library, and East Main, close to Lydia's and to Vickery Chapel. We had representatives from Jamestown Civitans, town residents, town staff, and town council members. But it's always so important for us to realize that even one person can do so much. So even in small in numbers, what an impression we were able to make that day with keeping our community beautiful. So if there's anyone here that would like to at any other time pick up supplies, we have those here at the town hall. We will be joining together again in the spring. It is a 2 times a year event through the State Department of Transportation. But throughout our year, anytime there may be a Girl Scout troop or a Boy Scout troop or even a group of young people from a class that would like to get together on a Saturday morning or a day after school, or a family outing. I do have the bags, the gloves, the equipment that would help you with to be safe and to find the area that might be most needed for cleanup. So, and thank you. I appreciate you being there with your family.
Thank you for doing it, everybody.
Yes,
Thank you
thank
for
you,
doing that
Elizabeth.
every year. Yeah.
Appreciate it. And now, Scott, everyone has alluded to all your news, so it's time.
We've built it up so big.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, and thank you for a few minutes of your time tonight just to give you a few updates. I'll start with the golf course. The quarterly report, it looks like our numbers are a little bit down on this quarter so far, or for this quarter altogether, because most of it was weather affected. Luckily, we had some rate changes and stuff throughout the year, and our numbers are not far off, but as far as the rounds go, we're probably down about 1,100 rounds for the quarter. But when I went back and started looking at the weather for July, August, and September, July, we had 7.5 inches of rain, which was a 71% increase. August, we had 10 inches of rain, which was a 100% increase. In September, we had 5.8 inches of rain, which was a 27% increase. So that's going to reflect in our numbers a little bit. But, and also in the month of July, we had 12 days over 90. That'll definitely affect it as well. But the rounds, the financials for the quarter were about $415,000 for the quarter in total revenue, which is still comparable to what we were last year, just a little bit down. But overall, I think those numbers are pretty good, and we're happy. Things are getting done out there, and here's the one I've been looking for, sorry. But things have been getting done out there, and like I said, just a lot of different projects. We're starting on some on the golf course itself. As y'all are aware, we replaced the dam last year that was leaking. We have another one that's leaking, so we're working on getting an RFP out for that now. And once we do, hopefully get that done over the winter months so it doesn't affect golf as much. As far as the park goes and the recreation side, we have a lot of things going on, and I know Rebecca's touched on some of it as far as the basketball courts. The basketball courts hopefully will be poured next week. We're trying to do some soil testing to make sure it's going to be, it lasts us another 50 years like the last ones did. But once we get through that, it should go real smooth. The nature trail and natural play area, all that's under contract and been ordered. We have a ship date of November 19th, so we hope to have all that stuff in by the end of November. That should go fairly quick once we get all the equipment in. Jeff Gord and I are in the process of picking out the educational signage to put in. And then the final placements will work with the contractor who we're buying the equipment from. They have already laid out the trail, so you can kind of see where it's at if you go by there. And it's not finalized yet, but we're working on it. The shelters are under contract. Well, we're waiting on the final design from the Universal Playground. Once we get that final design, we'll have the colors to go by. We'll match the shelters to the new playground, so it'll look real nice coming up the road. The AP grant, well, as y'all are aware, we received the AP grant for the $500,000 for the new restrooms. That RFP for design is out, and we look to bring you a contract in November. Other than that, we just got a lot of different projects going on, keeping everybody busy. I know the parks crew came up to Town Hall and Ren Miller Park and Library today. They did the overseeding and fertilizing and got that done. Like Matt said, the music in the park we had a great time that night. It was a big success. 80s Nation brought it that night. But we appreciate everything and all y'all support that y'all do for us. But like I said, just a lot of things going on right now.
And the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, that's what I.
Oh, yeah, thank you, thank you.
That's important.
Yes, yes, ma'am. So we've set the date for October 25th, and it'll go from 1 to 3. We're working on a couple different items, trying to find memorabilia, some old pictures and that type of things. We have a model that we're going to bring out that was the original model from the golf course. We're going to have a free gift for the first 200 people out there for that day. We'll be serving hot dogs and chips and drinks from 1 to 3, and Cakes by B is helping us out with a cake to help celebrate. We're looking for people right now that may have some memorabilia or photos or stories of the golf course from when we opened or not long after. We're going to meet with Carol on Friday and try to put an article out there to try to help us get some more information. So just a lot of things going on.
Well, your Parks and Rec meeting, are the members there going to help you with the event and
Yes,
include them
ma'am.
in it?
Yes, ma'am, we had several, we passed around a sign-up sheet, and we had a couple sign up to help us out, and they're going to help us serve the food and cake and try to help us find some memorabilia.
And hopefully they can help spread the word. I think that's the thing, is to get the word out so you'll have people come.
Yeah, we're actually working on doing an invitation right now and getting that out there. We're going to invite former council members, former Parks and Recreation Committee members, trying to find some employees that retired from us and do what we can and reach out. But we should have something going out next week.
I don't know if you can answer this or not, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Going back to all the things that are going on at the park with the playground and all these things. I've got next summer, it's a high school reunion. I'm not going to say which year it is. And there's a committee of the ladies that are working on it. And they called out there to see about renting a shelter. And they were told there'd be projects going on, and so they may not be available. Are we expecting it to last that long, to the summer of next year of 2025?
I hope not.
I hope not either, yeah.
Some of the projects could go on a little bit further, but we plan to have them done,
Well,
I hope, for the summer, but you just know, I can't predict.
it seems so far
Problems.
away, but I told them, I said, well, just hold off. I would inquire as things progress and see because they would like to rent a shelter out there and maybe do golf, some of them, but a shelter and a picnic, that's what they've done historically. So.
I'd be more than happy to talk to you and get the date
Yeah.
when we can look at it.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass that along.
No problem.
Any other questions for Scott? Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Do
Nobody
you have anyone signed up? Do you have any other business, council?
No other business.
Okay. One thing I would like to add is that Pinecroft Sedgefield has been sending trucks and men to western North Carolina.
Yeah,
They
which
did
is
a donation
really-
drive as
thank you.
well.
Yeah.
yeah.
For
That's
sure.
awesome.
Okay. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.